Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lynn Renee McDonald. I'm going to talk to you guys about your intuition today. Intuitive gifts, all the intuitive gifts that you can have, and just a little segment about them today so that you know what we're talking about with love energy. So you can know what is best for you in terms of when you hear something, when you think something, when you know something, when you feel something, when you see something. So when you have stuff come in for you, it's your intuition, your intuitive gifts, your instinct. All right. You can call it that. It's your common sense. It's all your ideas, all of your wisdom, all comes in from love energy, which is spirit, which is God, and your connection to that, which is what you are, which is within your soul. Okay. You're all connected to God or love energy, but it's called intuition. It can be called your intellect. It could be called your common sense, your wisdom, your knowing. You know, there's all different names for this stuff. Okay. When I say this stuff, what this is really is your communication and your connection to love energy. Okay. So all this stuff is all part of you and your soul and your energy. So you as a human being in human form are always connected to God or love energy all the time. You are God in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not talking about this weirdo, God, I am this kind of weird God thing. What I'm talking about is your love energy. Love energy and God are the same thing. You can call it spirit, you can call it love energy, but your connection to them is your gifts. It is what creates you to be in my reality. All right, we're all in the same reality. Your connector cord to all that is God. We're all in here in this reality, and that's part of the connection that is that. Okay, all right. Let's see. So again, it's your intuition, your knowing, your instinct. Like animals have instinct. That's their connection to God. They know and they're knowing. Okay. They're knowing. They know what to do. They know how to behave. They're like their instinct makes them do this, or their instinct and they know how to do this. Yeah. Because they're just like you and me, and they're connected to God. We're all connected to God. So when you work with God, which is what animals do and nature does innately, naturally, all the time. It can't not. It's part of the grand design. You're part of that grand design. So why wouldn't you work with nature, work with God, work with love energy? Why wouldn't you do that? Because that's where you're going to be the best you can be. Animals, nature, perfectly designed. And where there's love, what they say about nature, nature finds a way. Love energy is nature. It finds a way, right? So they too, animals, are connected by their connector cord to all that is God, and that is love energy. Okay. So that said, your gifts and your intuition go right in alignment with nature and animals and God. Okay. So sometimes you'll notice that you know stuff. Sometimes you notice that you hear stuff. Sometimes you'll notice you see stuff. Okay. Sometimes you smell stuff. Sometimes you see, hear, smell, touch, taste, feel emotionally, feel physically. Okay. So there's all different ways, excuse me, of working with God and knowing when God or love energy is speaking with you. It's your connection to that. It's a knowing. And the thing that governs all of these things is your feeling, how it feels. That's you being an empath, is how things feel. Okay. Now there's all different degrees of empath, but that'll be a time for talking about empaths. But empaths is the governing factor which collects everything else like underneath it or with it. Doesn't mean it's better than everything else. It's kind of like your validation that something is really real or something is the truth with God. Okay. So when you know things like, do you ever let's say you're cleaning your house or you're driving somewhere and all of a sudden you get some knowledge about somebody and you're like, who is this for? Who is this for? But all of a sudden you have some information. Maybe they'll say heart attack or stroke or sickness, right? You drive by somebody on the highway, you're getting messages from spirit. It's for the people people next to you, from the people behind you. Who is this message for? So it comes in, it's part of your empathic gifts. It's part of that knowing. Without being an empath, you cannot have all of these other gifts where you see, smell, touch, taste, hear, know, okay? Without that, you can't be all those things. They're all part of the same thing. Now, there's all different degrees of it, 0 to 100, okay? And then some. So just to use 0 to 100 as a chart, basically, just like there's all different degrees of love energy. There's all different degrees of unwellness. There's all different degrees of intelligence. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's all different degrees, all different levels of all that is God, okay? And being an empath is part of that. So where you resonate and you're in your spiritual gifts, where you resonate in that space, it dictates where you are as an empath, where you resonate in your soul, okay? In other words, what that means is, have you done your spiritual work? Are you working with God all the time? Are you clearing out stuff? That's how you truly raise your vibration. You work with spirit or love energy and universal law. You can raise your vibration doing many different things. Really, you have to be in consistency with the love energy that is God and be in that place to raise your vibration up. And therefore, the more you do that, the more you open your gifts and the more you're working with all of your gifts across the board. So when you don't feel like you have any gifts or you aren't raising your vibration, what do? You ask God. You ask God, hey, I want to know things. I want to see things. I want to hear things. So you ask God for those things, all right? So whatever it is that you want to be, all right, to do, you ask Spirit for. Okay, so again, we're talking about driving in cars, driving down the road, being an empath. You know something. You drive by somebody and you sit there and you go, oh, it's happened to me many times because I'm a medical intuitive. So people say to me, did you not know, where do you think this came from? And I asked, so I was like, oh my God, is this for me? Am I going to be sick? Am I going to have a stroke? Am I going to have a heart attack? What is this for? Who is this for? So the very first thing that I do is I ask God, hey, who is this for? What is the God's honest truth about who this is for? Whose stuff is this? Am I feeling it from the guy next door? Many times they will show me a vision in my head. They'll straight up say to me, and I'll hear it in my head, okay? Or I can hear it out here, okay? If somebody could come up to me and say, hey, did you see that guy over there? And Spirit's like, yeah, that's the guy whose stuff that was that you picked up on and you got. Do you see what I'm saying? So, because this is the truth of really how things work. When you don't know, you ask God so you truly know. And you don't ask God just say, meaning, oh, I just want to know, yes, you absolutely ask God to know, of course. However, you want to make sure that you ask God for the God's honest truth. Who is this stuff? What's the God's honest truth about what this means? Whose stuff is this? Why am I getting this? How do I use this? What is this for? Is this for me? Is it for them? Should I tell them? What do I do with this information that I'm getting? So a lot of times you'll be driving down the road, you'll be vacuuming, you'll be cleaning, you'll be doing your own thing, you'll be drawing, you'll be painting, you'll be listening to music. Messages come from everywhere. They're out here in 3D world. These are all part of your intuitive gifts. Out here in 3D world, I can say to somebody, I can ask a question and then suddenly the answer will come up on the television for what I wanted to know what the answer was. I remember looking at a picture of my brother, one of my brothers, and I just happened to look at the table and then I looked at and there was a picture of my brother on there, and I was like, why is this picture on the top, right? So it was a message from Spirit to tell me something, because earlier in the day, I had saw television commercials about heart attacks, and this is back when, what is his name? The guy from The Sopranos, God bless him. The guy from The Sopranos passed away. The main star, I can't remember what his name is. Anyways, he ended up dying of heart failure. And for like 2 or 3 days, there was lots of commercials and lots of news on the television about this. And I was like, okay, God, what does that mean? Why is all this coming up and why am I seeing this? Or I would pick up, a magazine, that would have, stuff about heart failure or cardiac arrest or something to do with that. So all these things that I'm seeing out here in this reality, right? Out here in this reality, I'm like, what does this mean? So I'm talking to spirit. So I was seeing way too many days and way too many signs that I needed to pay attention to heart attack and having to do things having to do with heart attack. I was like, who is this for? And I would say, is this for my mom? They'd be like, no. Is this for my brother? Like my other brother, because he was who came into mind first. I was like, I'm getting a no. Is this for me? Because all of us freak out, we're all like, oh my God, this is for me. But nope, it's not for me either. Okay. So what happens is, so I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to let this go and I'm going to let spirit show me. And thank you, God, for that for me. And then I walked over to the table and there was a pile of pictures and my oldest brother's picture was on there. And I looked at it and it was a really great picture from a Christmas from years back of my girls who were small then. All right. And it was my brother, John, and my two little girls. And I looked at it and I went, because I moved some boxes and some things. And that picture was right underneath some things on my table. And I looked at it and I went, right? And not within 15 minutes later, the phone rang and it was my sister-in-law telling me that my brother, who was in that picture that I just looked at 15 minutes ago and went, I wonder what this means, right? Just like I did with the heart attack commercials. She tells me that my oldest brother is in the hospital having like quadruple heart surgery. It was something along those lines. So God shows you things for a reason. Or spirit or love energy, your soul lets you know always what is going on. If you don't know how to do this, or you don't understand it, or you don't see it, you ask God that you do. Hey God, thank you for my intuitive gifts opening up. Thank you for me seeing and reading things out here. Thank you for me knowing things, seeing things, smelling things, hearing things, and know their meanings and what they're for, and what the messages are for me. Thank you for these gifts in the best way for me and all, or something better. And thank you, God, for that for me. So you start here and you what? You ask, okay? And then all of a sudden, your whole world is going to open up and you're going to start to ask for all these amazing things for you, which is awesome, okay? All right, so that's really what I wanted to say about intuition. You can hear things, you can know things. They come in 3D world. Well, actually, there's actually some more stuff that they're telling me I need to speak about. Okay, just like seeing things. Seeing things is not always seeing things out here. Sometimes I see things and like I'll do a double take. Like I'll see a shadow, I'll see an old dog or a dog in the background, or something will go by. That's seeing stuff too. And then you turn and it's not there anymore. Yeah, that's right. You're seeing things that are multidimensional. So you're seeing different things from different dimensions, okay? And so if you don't know what that is, you ask God, hey, why is this happening? What's going on here? What is the message? A lot of times, like this would happen to me with my old dog, Kayla. She passed away years ago now, but she would come around all the time, okay? So that was one of the things she would do. I would feel her in the room. I'd be like, hey, it feels like she's here. You just got a feeling, or you start thinking about them and you're like, because they're in the space. Everything, all of your gifts, all of your senses, everything is here designed to help you, and not just in 3D earth world practical form, but in all ways. So you may see things out here, like I did with my brother and the actual pile of pictures and the commercials about having heart attacks. And then with my dog, okay, I would see like a shadow, something in the back of the room, I would see that as well. Or I would feel her, or I'd look down the hall and 1 minute ago I'd swear I saw a dog there. Do you see what I'm saying? These are the things that happen that are intuitive. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so that's another one of those gifts. Let me see, what else? Okay, the other thing that I will get is like people, another intuitive gift that we all have, or maybe some of you are in touch with, that is one of them, is I know when people are thinking about me, okay? All of a sudden, 3 days before I'll have a client call me, I'll get a vision, or I'll hear things, or I'll get to know things, or I'll start to think, hey, I wonder how that person is doing, or I wonder how my mother is, or I wonder how so-and-so is, or I'll start just thinking about them. And then the phone will ring, and it's them. These are all part of your intuitive skills and your intuitive gifts. It's basically like a form of telepathy in this particular case where you're picking up somebody calling you, or somebody gonna meet with you, because what happens is they usually either call me or I run into them. So you're getting what I call a premonition of them thinking about you. They're basically creating it. You are picking up on that, and that's part of your intuitive gifts. So you can know when people are coming and when your friends are going to call you and all kinds of stuff like that. Okay? So that's all part of knowing. Or sometimes one of my gifts is that I'm a medical intuitive. So again, bringing back to medical intuitive, I can see I know things about people. Like I can feel their energy and I know when they're sick, okay? Because there's a certain way that they feel. And there's all different degrees of feeling unwellness, right? But I know that. Many times spirit will talk to me and they will be like, they'll be like, so-and-so is really sick and this is what's going on with them. All right. And they'll tell me distinctively, this person has a problem with their intestines. All right. It's just viral. This is what you can use to help them heal this. Okay. So what happens is spirit talks to me all the time. Like I talk to you and I hear this, like I hear voices in my head. Now, a lot of people will, or could say, oh, well, that's not normal and blah, 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 blah. But there is normal in everything. If you are in a love energy space, if you are healthy in that space, okay? There really is normal, meaning what is healthy and is what is best for you, okay? So really, what is normal? That's what it comes down to too, that's another time, another class or another talk for another time. But so these are just some of the intuitive gifts that you have, okay? Another one is I will get visions of people. Like they'll start to talk to me and I can see what's happening. Spirit shows me what is happening. They'll talk to me about their mother and I'll get visions of their mother. Or I can see them behind them, or they show me where they are. They show me where the angels are in the room all the time. They show me. I see them in here. Do you see what I'm saying? I can tell who's around me, who's not. Like people, another thing of my gifts is people will walk in the room and they will come in and I'll know when they're high. I'll know when they're not well. I'll know what their intent is. These are all gifts and tools with spirit that are designed to help you be the best you. It may be to protect you. It may be to help you. It may be that you're supposed to give some advice to them. If you don't know or you want any of these gifts, you ask God for them. Thank you, God, for that for me. And the best way for me and all or something better, because this is the truth about how things work. So, and like people say to me all the time, I know what you're saying is the truth because I get goosebumps. I feel it. I just know that it's right in my heart. So a lot of people will call me because of those reasons. They're like, I know you're the person to call that I should be calling and working with or talking to. Do you see? So you know what I mean? So these are a lot about your intuitive gifts. I think I've covered a lot of them. Sometimes you'll smell things, okay? One time I was riding down to Georgia for an event, and I was in the car, and I asked Spirit to keep me awake. And then all of a sudden, I started smelling tangerines, right? And tangerine essential oil. And I was like, what the hell? And it was wild because it was Spirit keeping me awake, okay? So you'll smell things because tangerine is a really great essential oil for giving you energy and keeping you up. See, but Spirit will tell you all of these things if you open up and work with God or love energy all the time. The more you work with them and the more you learn about law of universe, the more you will have all these gifts that Spirit that I'm telling you about that I have. Anything that you want, any gifts that anybody has, whether it's seeing auras, seeing things in 3D world out here, and the knowing of what everything means and how to work with it. The higher you vibrate, the more you work with God, the more you have intuitive gifts such as these, okay? And like I know things about people. I know when people are unwell. I know when they want to do unwell things to me or towards me, or they're not coming from the highest vibration of love. Because when you vibrate up here, you have access to all information that people who vibrate here or in a different space in society doesn't mean one is better than the other. It's just being in a different space with God. It's the truth is a lion is a lion. If you're in this space with God, right? If you're in this space with God, you are what you are. Okay, so be it and trust your gifts. Know in your heart, but your feeling, the way that it feels tells you double take of what is really going on here. Like when you see something, what is that for, God? Ask God and feel it in your heart with every intuitive gift you have. So you know, am I losing it? Am I really connected intuitively with God? So ask, the answers will come. Just ask, put it out there. Thank you, God, for this for me. Ask for what it is that you want. Let go of it and let God and say, thank you, God, for that for me in the best way for me and all or something better. And thank you, God, for that for me. That's simple, as simple as that. Okay. God, you can say love energy, whatever it is that you feel called to in your heart. Okay. That is love. That is, whatever term you want to use. Okay. So I think, that's about it for today for intuitive gifts. Let's see. I wish you a great day. If you have any questions about all of this, you can PM me, you can text me, keep following me on my page. You like my videos, please do subscribe and also put the like button, thumbs up, Okay. All right. So, any questions you have, please, this is what I do, because the more we get this out, working with love energy all the time, the more we change ourselves and create the greatest lives we came here to have. And the more we change the world together, because the more people who practice and work with love energy and all that they are, be, say, do, and create, and in all that they are, really, the more we change us, the more we raise our vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet and the collective consciousness. Because what you are is what you attract. So you bring it to you by working and changing and coming from love energy in that space with you. All right. Have a great day. See you soon.